The Kafue River and the watershed it supports, the Kafue Flats, apart from its enormous beauty, is a very important river in Zambia. It supports millions of livelihoods across the country, providing 50% of the population with safe drinking water. The river itself also is actually known as an economic backbone of the country, providing water to key economic sectors that include agriculture, energy, tourism, trade, and fisheries. So an efficient and effective and a sustainable allocation of water resources to these critical sectors is very important for the sustainability of the businesses and industries that depend on this water, but also for Zambia's own ability to achieve its ambition to become a middle-income country by 2030.
The Kafue Flats are important to Zambia's economy because we derive a lot of services from there, as well as a lot of communities depend on the Kafue Basin for livelihoods on a daily basis. The Kafue Basin itself hosts actually the Longiva National Park, which is a protected area, as well as the Blue Lagoon. And the Kafue Flats itself is actually a game management area. And so this is actually home to wildlife, different species of birds and animals. And so this becomes very important economically to the country.
Lusaka Water and Storage Company is mandated to supply water and sanitation services to its customers in Lusaka province. This plant basically is designed to produce 100,000 cubic meters of water per day, and it accounts for just under 50% of the total water that we supply to our customers in the city of Lusaka.
Zambian Breweries is a subsidiary of ABInBev. Our business is solely about water. Our business is about producing both the alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. So you see that for us, water is everything.
Zambia Sugar PLC has been in existence for over 50 years. It's the pioneer and the leading sugar manufacturing company in Zambia. Sugarcane as a crop is a very thirsty crop and it demands a lot of water. 100% of the water that we use in our irrigation systems comes from the Kafue River.
Zambeef is one of the largest agribusiness entities in Zambia. We are involved in the production, processing, distribution, and retailing of all our products. These products include dairy, beef, pork, and derivatives of our raw cropping operations from maize, soybeans, and wheat. The Kafue Flats are very important to Zambeef. This is because we get over 70% of our beef that we use for processing and retailing from that area.
Despite the Kafue River being the energy and food basket of our country, the river faces a number of threats that range from excessive demand for water, for commercial agriculture and hydropower, to pollution and climate change. To guarantee the availability of water for companies in future and for livelihoods that depend on it, it's critically important that a different collective approach is taken to ensure the sustainable management of the river and also making sure that the river continues flowing in a healthy way in future. This requires not only private sector companies whose businesses depend on this water, but civil society organizations, communities, and governments to work together to make sure that we are actually actively implementing and monitoring mitigation plans around the risks that the river actually faces now.
So we realize that it is very important that we are basically stakeholders in the management of the Kafue lower basins. Insofar as stakeholder management is concerned, the sharing of the waters, the conservation, and everything that pertains to the Kafue lower basin, because we are not actually at the moment not even able to meet the current demand for water in the city of Lusaka. So right now we are doing extra works to improve the infrastructure to upgrade the infrastructure so that we can actually pump more water to the customers of Lusaka.
Given the climatic changes that we are facing now, it's incumbent upon the private sector, working with the public sector, and in particular the government, to begin to take proactive action to address the risks associated with water availability, with the water quantity, with the water quality relating to the catchment area in the Kafue Flats.
So WWF Zambia's work with the private sector was inspired by the study that we launched with our partners that showcased the important role that water plays in driving the Zambian economy. This report also showcased the risks and the threats our key water resources do face. And on the basis of this, WWF facilitated the creation of a multi-stakeholder platform which is called the Kafue Flats Joint Action Group. It brings together a range of private sector companies, regulators and civil society organizations that are committed to addressing the threats and the risks that have been identified across the river to make sure that it continues flowing and functioning in a healthy way.
We have seen that we cannot continue business as usual. It's about beginning to get out of our fence, going in partnerships to begin to address the challenges of water. But what we are doing is to be proactive, to engage in partnerships, identify organizations that are serious about water management. And WWF is one such organization we've been working with, from a global office of ABInBev to a country level.
So we've also partnered with WWF in the aspect of Kafue Flats Joint Action Group, where we've been able to manage with them, together with other major stakeholders, the aspect of conservation, aspect of protection, the aspect of sharing the water sources, so that we are able to protect these waters as far as it may be possible for now and for future use.
In addition to working collaboratively with partners such as WWF as an active member of the Kafue Flats Joint Action Group, we have also put in place strict internal controls that ensure that we're a good water steward.
But as we grow, and we want to grow, for us it's very important to continue to reduce, to be efficient. We are passionate about what we do. We are passionate about managing water, reuse, recycling, so that we begin to ensure that efficiency grows up.
Our water footprint is one of our main sources of pride. And looking forward, we hope that everybody in the Kafue Flats Joint Action Group will be a good water steward to ensure that this precious and scarce resource is available to future generations.
Zambeef Products PLC is very happy to be members of the KFJAG, working with WWF and other stakeholders in ensuring that we preserve the Kafue Flats now and for future generations to come.
As Lusaka Water, basically, this is the backbone of our water sources. And so, being the backbone, would like to continue to work with all the other major stakeholders, including WWF, to ensure that we conserve and protect these water sources.
So for us, our sustainability going forward will continue to scale up our focus on water security, quality of water, quantity of water supply, by strengthening the bonds that we've created so far. There are partnerships through the KFJAG. So the KFJAG, Kafue Flats Joint Action Group, is critical for us, and we continue to work together, identifying the risks, opportunities, and addressing those as we go forward.
Within the KFJAG, we only have 3 major private sector companies. We're hoping to recruit more and more of the big companies so that they could subscribe to the activities and the principles behind the KFJAG, so that we can see and develop critical mass of companies actually moving towards sustainable production and also promotion of sustainable consumption practices. We are also going to continue helping support the regulator, make sure that the water management and governance arrangements are better serving the current and future needs of water within the basin and within the country. Without good management, future generations cannot be guaranteed that this water is going to be available for agriculture, for energy, for tourism, and the various services we're currently enjoying. And lastly but not the least, WWF globally is taking a big push by mobilizing the finance community as well to be able to come in and participate in conservation efforts through promotion of bankable projects. These are projects that actually make investments that bring a return, a commercial return, but also ensure that there's a return that comes back to the planet. In this particular case, there's a return that comes back to the conservation of this critical resource. If we don't conserve this water, we don't have an economy tomorrow.